Dear students, welcome you to session 46, chapter Dividend Policies, Financial Management, 6th semester BCom of Mangalore University. In this session, let us understand the Modigliani and Miller model or model, or also known as the irrelevance approach of Miller and Modigliani. This theory of dividend is given by Professor Franco Modigliani and Professor Merton Miller, and the theory says that the dividend policy of the firm is irrelevant as it does not affect the value of the firm. They argue that the value of the firm depends on earnings. So earnings are influenced by the investment policy and it is not influenced by the dividend policy. So the dividend policy of the firm, that is how the earnings are divided as retained earnings and dividend, is not at all important in determining the value of the firm. The investment policy and the earnings of the firm decides the share price and not the dividend policy. That is why the dividend policy is not significant or important or relevant in determining the share price. This theory of Modigliani and Miller, that is the irrelevance approach of Modigliani and Miller, is based on certain assumptions. The main assumptions are, the first one is the perfect capital market. It is assumed that the concept of perfect capital market exists. That is, the perfect capital market means all the investors are rational and they do not take decisions based on emotions or sentiment. That is, the investors receive all price sensitive information and a single investor do not have the capacity to influence the share price. Another assumption is the non-existence of taxes. We know that taxes do exist, but to prove this particular theory, it is assumed that taxes are not there. So it is assumed that taxes do not exist and then the theory is proved based on that. Another assumption is that there is a constant investment policy. The firm has a constant investment policy so that the risk return profile does not change from one year to another year. Even we know that investment policy of the firm changes over a period of time, but for proving this theory, it is assumed that the investment policy is constant. Another assumption is that non-existence of risk. We are assuming that there is no risk for the business. Even we know that risk is existing for all the business and for all human beings for that matter. But to prove the theory, it is assumed that there is no risk. So in order to prove this irrelevance approach of Modigliani and Miller, certain assumptions are made, and those assumptions are, one is that we are having a perfect capital market and the taxes are not there and the firm has a constant investment policy and there is no risk. Now, the market price is calculated in this way, that is the computation of market price under Modigliani-Miller model. P1 is equal to P0 into 1 plus KE minus D, where P1 means the price at the end of the period. P0 means price at the beginning. KE is the cost of equity. D is dividend per share. So, using this, the theory is proved. Now, we will see how it is with the help of a problem. Aditya Engineering Limited had 1000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. The cost of equity was 20%. Using model, what will be the price of the share if dividend is not declared? What will be the share price if the dividend of rupees 10 per share is declared? So here it's a case of a firm having 1000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. The cost of equity is 20%. Now there are two situations. One is dividend is not declared. We will have to find out the price of the share. Another situation is dividend of rupees 10 per share is declared. We will have to find out the share price. So using this, we can prove the theory saying that the dividend policy is irrelevant. It is not important in deciding the share price. So how do we find out the share price? P1 is equal to P0 into 1 plus KE minus D. P1 is equal to price at the end. P0 is equal to price at the beginning. KE is equal to cost of equity and D is equal to dividend per share. Now, in the first situation, when the dividend is not declared, we'll see how the price, what will be the price. P1 is equal to P0. P0 is price at the beginning 100. 1 plus the cost of equity is 0.20, 20% minus D. D is 0. Dividend is not declared. The price is equal to P1 is equal to 120. So 100 is the price at the beginning and KE is equal to 0.20 and dividend is not declared, it is 0. So the price is equal to 120. Now the second situation we will see when the dividend of rupees 10 per share is declared. When dividend is declared, D is equal to rupees 10. So P1 is equal to, that is price at the end is equal to 100 into 1 plus 0.20 minus 10. So the price is equal to 110. Now, here we can see that in the first situation, the price is 110, that is the shareholders' wealth is 120 and he is not receiving dividend. So, the value is 120. In the second case, we can see that the price is 110 but the shareholder receives the dividend of rupees 10. What is the total shareholders' wealth? 110 plus dividend which he receives 10 rupees. So, the total shareholders' wealth is 120. So, in the first case, it is 120. In the second case, it is 110 plus a dividend of 10 rupees which means it is 120. So, in both the cases, the dividend policy do not affect the value of the firm. So, this way the theory is proved. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you.